Hey everyone, in this video we'll continue the series on React and go over the basics of JSX, including variables, if statements, and loops. Let's go ahead and get started. So I have the previous project open here, and now we're going to go in more depth on what we can put inside this return statement. So first, let's go and create a couple of variables inside of our function. These will be normal JavaScript variables, so we'll do const, and we'll do just test variable equals, this will be whatever. And then we'll go ahead and create one more variable. This will be a test array, and we'll create a very simple array. And I'll just do just some numbers, and 6. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and use these variables inside of JSX. So first, just to put a basic variable like this inside of our JSX here, we can do that by putting inside a p tag here, but we can go ahead and put it just inside of curly braces. So inside of curly braces here, I'll just put the name of the variable, test variable. Now I save that, I come back to my app here, which I already have running, and you'll see that it goes ahead and puts the variable inside a p tag on our page for us. And we can do that with any variable. We just need to put it inside of curly braces to tell React that this is a variable. If I were to leave those off, you'll see that it just puts test variable in there instead of the actual variable value. So make sure you have curly braces around the value. We can also use these curly braces to create like if statements or ternary operators. So instead of you doing like if whatever, like you would in JavaScript, what we'll do is we'll use the and, or we can use the question mark and the colon to determine these things. So I'll go ahead and put some curly braces here, and I'll go ahead and put, we'll say if test variable is equal to ABC, I can put a question mark, colon, or question mark, and then put just normal parentheses, not curly braces. I can put a colon, another parentheses. Now, what I can do is inside of this first set of parentheses, I can put anything I want if it equals ABC, and after this colon, I can put anything inside of here for if it does not equal ABC. So that's how we can do an if statement inside of React here. So if it does equal to ABC, I'll just put a p tag here, and we'll go ahead and just put the variable. So inside of here, I can go ahead and put test variable. And if it's not equal to ABC, I'll go ahead and put another p tag here, and I'll just put a bunch of A's or something different. Now we save that. I'm going to go ahead and comment out this one down here. Our page should look exactly the same. It just says ABC. Now if I come up here and I change this to be ABCD or something and save it, now you'll see when we open up the page here, we have all the A's now. So now we can determine what to show based off of this value by using this ternary expression here. So we can just put, we can set up like this. Now we can also, if we don't need the else, we can also just use the and operator. So if I come down here, I put curly braces here and I do test variable equals ABC and then put parentheses. Now we're only showing this test variable if it equals and, but there's no other else statement. So it will only show this or it'll show nothing. So I'll go ahead and put test variable down here again. Now, if I run this, since test variable equals ABCD, not ABC, this is not going to show up. Now we only have the A's. Now if I change this back and save it and come back to the page here, now it says ABC twice, one for this first line and one for the second line. So that's how we can create different if statements inside of JSX. Next, we want to talk about looping. So inside of our return statement here, we can't really make a for loop. We can't just do like, for whatever var I equals something, whatever. We can't do that here. What we can do instead though, is we can use the map function. So I'm going to go ahead and create a list. So I'll go ahead and create an unordered list with UL. And inside of here, I'll put a bunch of LIs, but we're not going to hardcode that in. We want it to be the length of this array up here. So in this case, we want to show 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. So what we can do is inside of our UL, we can put curly braces, and we can put our variable name, which in this case is test array dot map, And then inside the map function here, we can put a arrow function. So I'll just do num as the variable, arrow, and then I can go ahead and put parentheses here. Not curly braces, but just normal parentheses. And now what we're doing here is we're looping over or mapping over each of the value in test array and setting that value for each iteration of the loop to this num variable. So now inside of the parentheses here, I can put an li tag, and I can go ahead and just put num inside of parentheses. Just like we put variables inside of parentheses up here, we can do the same thing for our looping variable as well. And so now we should get an li for each of the numbers inside the list. And there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the nice thing about this is now I can go up here, I can add another number. I don't need to change any of my logic down here, and it will still update the list up here as well. So that's how you loop over values. Instead of using for loops, you can use the .map, pass in a variable to act as like the iterative value for every iteration of the loop, arrow function, and then just parentheses. If you don't put parentheses, you'll need to return a value, and it's just easier to just use parentheses here. Then you can put all your JSX inside of the parentheses, and it will return it out there. Now, one important thing to note is on any of these, if I were to add like another thing here, it's not going to like that. If I try saving that and running this, it's going to throw an error. We need to have one parent element for everything like this. So if you want more than one tag or something within your loop here, make sure to add like a div, or maybe you could add a React fragment around it, and that will fix that error. And the same thing goes for any of these as well. If you try adding another p tag down here, it's not going to like that. So make sure you put one parent tag. You can use just a React fragment, just like that, and that will fix all of the errors if you're getting those because you have multiple parents. But that's really it. Just want to make a quick video going over variables and how to loop over values, display values, create some conditional statements to show things if certain things equal something, and those sorts of things. Hopefully with this, you can go ahead and build out your React components that you need for your application using these different available tools. All the code for this will be in the description below. If you have any questions, let me know. But that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.